There we are. Hello, my name is Dr. Lawrence Gray. I'm the Program Director for the Medical Toxicology course. And I think I've got a few people online. Make sure you're all in the event. I've opened the Q&A, which I think you can post in, and also the chat, which you can add in there any questions you may have. The purpose of today really is that you've expressed an interest in medical toxicology, and I want to tell a little bit about the course and what to expect. And then if you have any questions, you can either put them in the Q&A or put them in the chat. I've got a short presentation which I will now share. That's what I want to do. This is forgive me. Hopefully, you can see the presentation. It looks like you can. I'm just going to put onto slideshow from the beginning. Okay, so I was going to talk a little bit about postgraduate qualifications in medical toxicology. As I said, my name is Dr. Lawrence Gray, and we offer lots of different qualifications, but I thought it'd be nice just to start with what a little bit about what toxicology is. The 16th century Swiss physician Paracelsus observed that all things are poison, nothing is without poison, and it's the dosage that makes it a poison or a remedy. This is very clear in all substances, things such as salt, even water, if we drink too much of it, can cause us serious harm. Toxicology, if you're looking for a dictionary definition, is the branch of science concerned with the nature, effects, and detection of poisons. So what about our programs? Well, medical toxicology programs at Cardiff University take the 3 levels of programs: the postgraduate certificate, the postgraduate diploma, and also master's courses. And essentially, these courses are to help individuals develop an appreciation of the effects of poisoning, the etiology of poisoning, and the regulation of poisoning. And often when we think about poisoning, we may consider medications, but also we consider things such as environmental factors, industrial factors, and also about incident management. The team is based in the National Poison Information Service, and myself, I'm Director of the National Poisons Information Service in Cardiff. The National Poison Information Service, the UK-wide service with 4 units around the UK. This course has been running for a long time now, I think over 20 years, and it's we work in close partnership with Cardiff University to give you a course that is both interesting, but also gives relevant, I should say, information that is applicable to people working in the area of toxicology. Just for those of you who don't know, the right-hand side is a small arrow which points to where Cardiff is. So who's involved and who are you likely to meet in your dealings with the course? Well, there's me, there's Dr. Lawrence Gray, consultant toxicologist. Also have Beth Hughes, specialist in poisons information, Nathaniel Keemer, who's also a specialist in poisons information, Larry Thomas, another specialist in poisons information. I think it's important to say that we all do frontline clinical work in toxicology and have a lot of experience in this area. One of the things that we like to do, of course, is have seminars, which happen twice a module. We'll talk a bit about structure, where we get a chance to discuss with you through some case studies and maybe answer any other questions that you may have. I think it's super important to mention Chris Bowden and Julia Hodgson, our administrative assistants, who really ensure that everything runs smoothly and will also be a point of contact for you if you decide to start the course. So what have we got on offer? Well, there's a postgraduate certificate, which is a one-year course with 60 credits. We've then got the postgraduate diploma, and this can be done as a full-time course or a part-time course. The full-time course takes 1 year. The part-time course takes 2 years and 120 credits. If you complete the diploma, you can then go on to an MSc or Masters in Toxicology. This is a supervised research dissertation, and many of the students who have done this have been supervised by Professor James Coulson and have gone on to have their work published. It's important to say that it's a distance learning course, and while we do have discussion boards and online meetings, all the material that you require is online regarding things such as reading lists. It's a modular course, and in the diploma course, in the certificate course, there are 3 modules, and in the diploma, there are 6 modules. And as I said, the MSc can be applied for after completing the diploma. If you do the diploma part-time, you essentially do the 3 modules of the certificate, and you do 3 further modules in the second year. If you do it full-time, you will do all 6 modules in 1 year. And this is achieved as the modules are staggered in terms of start dates. So essentially, you're not doing completing assignments and assessments in the same week, but it is a lot kind of more work. In terms of modules, we talk initially about diagnosis and management of poisoning, recognizing toxidromes. We then go to look at specific drug classes, such as drugs that and compounds that affect the autonomic nervous system, analgesics. We then talk about maybe animal and plant toxins. The third module, poison by non-pharmaceuticals. And then in the modules 4, 5, and 6, we look at mechanisms of toxicity and how toxicity comes about. A bit about the regulatory and preventative area, and a little bit about etiology of poisoning, and then environmental industrial toxicology, and kind of the issues surrounding that and chemicals, etc. In terms of the module structure, each module lasts 10 weeks, and they're divided into 5 2-week sections. Each 2-week section is a 10-question multiple choice test and a formative case study. And each module has a written assessment around about 2,000 words. So if you were doing the certificate, you will do 3 modules, as I said, in a year. If you're doing the diploma part-time, you'll do 3 modules each year. If you're doing it full-time to complete in a year, you will do all 6 modules. One of the things that we've started to do is with the formative case study, we have 2 seminars every module where we discuss the case studies and any other issues that come up. And we're always open and keen to create a community of people interested in toxicology. The course is delivered through Learning Central. This is a typical screenshot. As you can see, each of the things that you require is put into nice, easy folders, and your assessments and everything can be submitted online. The majority of the information that is presented is through a kind of written, but we do have some video presentations and some uploaded presentations on particular topics. There is a discussion board which people can use to either raise administrative or other knowledge queries about aspects of poisoning. And I think also importantly, we have these seminars where we will discuss the case study and give you, we also provide written feedback on that case study as well. It's also important to say that if you join the course, we have just about confirmed the programme. Sorry, this is from last year's programme, but the first weekend in October, the Friday and Saturday, 2026, we'll be running the medical update course. This is an in-person course, 2 days of fantastic talks on toxicology with speakers from around the UK coming to speak. And I think this is a really great opportunity. And with this course, those who are doing the certificate or diploma have an entitlement to attend this course free of charge. You can choose to attend it just after you start. I think more of our students are now electing to do it after their first year, whether that's certificate or diploma. So there's a bit of foundational knowledge that they can understand and get a better grip on things. It's also important to say with this meeting, it's a great chance to network. One of the things that we are really trying to do with this course is to maybe build a community of people with an interest in toxicology. Talkspace, you may or may not be aware, is the clinical guidance database used for healthcare professionals managing poison patients. And Talkspace access will be given. So you can participate in the course and you can use this and learn how to become familiar with this resource. It's an absolutely fantastic resource, which is maintained by the NPIS and overseen by NPIS in Edinburgh. I think there are over 15,000 different chemicals with guidance about how to manage each of these. And really is a fundamental part of our care. So if you're thinking about applying for the course, who is it for? We have a proportion of people working as physicians, nurses and pharmacists who will need to or come across the management of the poisoned patient, different areas such as immediate management, appropriate use of antidotes, and maybe investigations. People working in a toxicological background, such as analytical or forensic toxicology, find the course useful. And those working even in a regulatory toxicology or working in the pharmaceutical industry, where there's a degree of understanding of toxicology required, will also, I think, get benefit from this course. This means that we're quite a wide cohort with people bringing different backgrounds and different experiences to the mix. And one of the things that we find with the seminars is that it can be quite a good way to share those experiences. We also have in the UK, NPIS, what are known as specialists in poisons information. You may remember that I introduced Nat, Beth, and Aleri, and they essentially take the calls that come into our service and many of the specialists in poison information, both in the UK and also worldwide, have done this course. So that's all I really wanted to say. I hope that gives a little bit of overview. I think it's important to say that happy to answer any questions. Please get in contact with us if you're interested in studying with us. And I hope we can work together on your journey into the fascinating world of medical toxicology. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen now and go back to the meeting. Okay. Hopefully you can. Let's stop sharing. Fine, I think. Hello. So hopefully that's been helpful. There will be a recording of this which we can distribute if you've arrived a little bit late. But I am here for any questions you may have about the course, and more than happy to answer any queries. There can be any questions at all. As I said, it's a good opportunity to talk about those queries. Oh yeah, thanks, Ash. Yeah, no problem at all. And as I said, if you have any further queries, or quite often with these things, we see it quite frequently as clinicians. You think, oh, I should have said that or asked that question. But if you do have any queries, just get in contact. More than happy to help. So thanks, Matthew. So the deadline, because it's a distance learning course, then we can go quite close to the start of the course, which is at the end of September. So really be kind of towards the end of August. The enrollment process can take probably take a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, but we probably want to allow it a bit longer, not to kind of anything delayed in terms of starting. So we have had people pay quite late, but ideally I would say the end of August would allow adequate time for everything to be processed and to make sure that you're good to go at the start of the course. But good question. I hesitate to share my screen again, but was there anything from the slides that you'd like me to go over again? Okay, so I suppose just the other thing to say is I'm actually at our National Poison Information CPD Day in Dublin, of all places. So I've just taken the lunch break to answer your queries. So I'm actually having my toxicological education as we, well, not as we speak, but I'm here in the College of Anesthesiologists in Dublin. So, and as I said, the Medical Toxicology Update course in Cardiff, 2 days of really good teaching at the start of October, and you get attendance free with the course, but actually you don't have to be on the course to do it. And you can also just come along to delegate and just have a bit of teaching. Oh, new post. Get the hang of this. Yes, Matthew. So, okay, so yeah, fantastic. Some good questions. So, Matthew, if I could answer your question first, the MSc is a research thesis. I think generally, it can be looking at some form of clinical study or clinical audit. So we've had people looking at presentations to their emergency department, for example, with opioids misuse. We have had studies on management of paracetamol, for example, in the emergency department. People have looked at done a systematic review, such as the use of high-dose insulin in the intensive care unit, and relative pros and cons. Cyanide, systematic review, and looking at clinical data to establish markers of severe cyanide toxicity. I think pretty much everything is available, but we don't tend to do investigational products or randomized control trials, and that's because of the limited time period and getting ethics approval. But anything with either a clinical data source or literature source, then there's still a lot of interesting stuff that we can do. I hope that helps. And yeah, just to say the MSc, you need to complete the postgraduate diploma to then do the MSc. And it's Professor James Coulson tends to be the supervisor for that. And he's super helpful and super enthusiastic about research. And as I said, many people go on to get publications and things from the work that they've done. Admission requirements for private application. So yeah, we as I said, it's a wide cohort of different backgrounds. Generally, a kind of biological or biomedicine undergraduate degree. However, we have had people who have, for example, got relevant work experience in an area. They may not have such a degree, such as they may be working in some field of regulatory toxicology, be working in pharmaceuticals, and so forth. And so in some people who may not have those qualifications are still eligible to go for the course. And if the requirements, I suppose, are slightly individual or unique, then we go through applications on a case-by-case basis and decide the appropriateness of it. But yeah, we have quite an interesting group of people doing the toxicology course. I hope that helps. Okay, I think I'm probably going to wrap up now. But before I go, does anybody have any questions? And it can be pretty much anything, as long as it's not too personal or something. But anything people want to know before I head off, and I think I'll just be quiet for a bit. Well, I think just the important thing to say is thanks for showing interest. I hope it's been somewhat helpful for you. If you need any further information or clarification, please get in contact. We're more than happy to help. and all being well, hopefully we'll maybe see you in the autumn. So with best wishes. Oh, I've just got to close. Yeah, so what I can do, probably the best thing is if I give you my email address through the university, pop it in the chat now. You can make inquiries through the Cardiff Uni, like admissions inquiries, but we know each other now, so there we are. I'll just post that. That's Gray L. That's Alpha Lawrence and I 5@cardiff.ac.uk. So everyone in this chat, feel free to drop me a line if you've got a question. Okay. Well, as I said, if there's any issues, you've got any questions, just get in contact. More than happy to help. And just yeah, thanks for being interested in toxicology. Take care. Bye bye.